Some people buy houses, some buy islands, and then there's a rarer class that builds floating cities. Yachts so expensive, they blur the line between engineering, obsession, and power. In 2026, these are the 10 most expensive yachts that sit at the absolute top of the wealth pyramid. Number 10. Serene. Mumming $330 million. Serene is proof that a yacht story doesn't end when it leaves the shipyard. Built by Fincantieri and delivered as one of the largest private yachts in the world, Serene's reported build cost sits around $330 million, already enough to place it among the most expensive yachts ever constructed. But what cemented its legend was what happened afterward. When Serene later changed hands, headlines exploded around a reported $500 million sale price, a figure that instantly turned the yacht into a symbol of how super yachts behave less like vehicles and more like rare artworks. Value, at this level, is driven by timing, scarcity, and the buyer's urgency, not depreciation tables. That buyer was Mohammed bin Salman, Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, whose 2015 purchase transformed Serene from a record-breaking yacht into a floating emblem of modern royal power. Inside, Serene feels less like a boat and more like a private resort. Multiple pools, spa zones, vast leisure decks, and accommodation for dozens of guests and crew turn daily life on board into something closer to a controlled environment than a holiday. Even by 2026 standards, Serene remains one of the clearest examples of how reputation alone can push a yacht into the highest financial tier. Number 9. Dubai. Make $400 million. Dubai is a reminder that older does not mean irrelevant in the superyacht world. With a reported cost of around $400 million, this giant remains one of the most instantly recognizable yachts on Earth, both for its size and for the story behind its creation. Originally started under a different ownership vision, the project evolved mid-build and ultimately emerged as a dramatically larger, more extravagant vessel. That long, complex construction journey is part of why Dubai became so expensive and so iconic. The yacht stretches well beyond what was normal at the time of its completion, packed with grand interior spaces, bold design choices, and enough deck area to rival small cruise ships. Its identity became even more powerful when it entered the personal fleet of Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai, whose ownership turned the yacht into a floating extension of the emirate itself. More than a private vessel, Dubai became a symbol of state-level wealth and ambition on water. By 2026, newer yachts may cost more, but Dubai still represents a turning point. The moment when private yachts stopped pretending to be oversized boats and openly became floating palaces. Number 8. A+. Nike $527 million. A+ is the kind of yacht that quietly dominates most expensive lists year after year. Built by Lursen and widely reported at around $527 million, it sits in that rare zone where scale, engineering, and luxury all push costs into half-billion territory without relying on gimmicks. This is a yacht defined by sheer mass and capability. Everything about it, from propulsion systems to interior volume, exists at a level that demands constant custom engineering. Multiple decks of guest spaces, extensive crew infrastructure, and advanced onboard systems make A+ less like a private toy and more like a privately owned maritime platform. Its mystique deepened when it became associated with Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan of Abu Dhabi, one of the world's wealthiest royals, turning the yacht into a floating symbol of Gulf state power and discretion. Name changes and ownership shifts haven't diminished its status. In 2026, A+ remains one of the clearest examples of what a standard ultra-elite superyacht looks like once budgets cross the $500 million line. Number 7. Koru. Walish. $500 million. Koru stands out not just for its price, around $500 million, but for what it represents. At a time when most mega yachts rely on brute engine power, Koru reintroduced sailing as a prestige statement at the very top of the wealth ladder. Delivered in 2023 and still dominating headlines in 2026, Koru blends classic sailing yacht aesthetics with modern billionaire scale engineering. Its towering masts, sleek lines, and immense size make it one of the largest sailing yachts ever built. The yacht is owned by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, whose personal brand of long-term thinking and legacy building fits perfectly with Koru's old world meets future philosophy. But the real flex is strategic. Koru operates alongside a dedicated support vessel that carries additional equipment, staff, and toys, allowing the main yacht to remain elegant and uncluttered. Koru signals a shift in taste. It says luxury isn't just about size anymore. It's about intentional design, legacy aesthetics, and the ability to cross oceans in silence and privacy. Number 6. Sailing Yacht A, Nummu 500, $600 million. Koru stands out not just for its price, but for what it represents. At a time when most mega yachts rely on brute engine power, Koru reintroduced sailing as a prestige statement at the very top of the wealth ladder. Delivered in 2023 and still dominating headlines in 2026, Koru blends classic sailing yacht aesthetics with modern billionaire scale engineering. Its towering masts, sleek lines, and immense size make it one of the largest sailing yachts ever built. The yacht is owned by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, whose personal brand of long-term thinking and legacy building fits perfectly with Koru's old world meets future philosophy. But the real flex is strategic. Koru operates alongside a dedicated support vessel that carries additional equipment, staff, and toys, allowing the main yacht to remain elegant and uncluttered. It says luxury isn't just about size anymore. It's about intentional design, legacy aesthetics, and the ability to cross oceans in silence and privacy. Number 5. Somnio, Nummu $600 million Balutamali Reed Arkar. Somnio isn't just a yacht, it's a concept that pushes the definition of ownership itself. With a reported cost around $600 million, Somnio is often described as a yacht liner, designed to contain ultra-luxury private residences rather than a single-owner suite. Instead of one billionaire calling the shots, Somnio is structured around a tiny, invitation-only group of ultra-wealthy co-owners, each purchasing a private floating residence rather than the vessel itself. The project was developed by luxury yachting entrepreneur Eric Bread, but no individual owner is publicly named, reflecting the extreme privacy of its clientele. That changes everything: layout complexity, legal structure, engineering demands, and long-term operations. In 2026, Somnio represents where the ultra-wealthy are experimenting next. Not just bigger yachts, but floating real estate. Number 4. Azam, W600, $605 million. Azam remains a benchmark yacht, one of the longest private yachts ever built, with a reported cost hovering around $605 million. But length alone doesn't explain its status. Azam is famous because it combined extreme size with unexpected speed and performance. Engineering a vessel of this scale to move fast, remain stable, and operate efficiently required solutions more commonly associated with naval ships than pleasure craft. Everything about Azam feels purpose-built, from its propulsion systems to its internal structure. The yacht is owned by Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the late president of the United Arab Emirates, and remains associated with the Abu Dhabi royal family, giving it a level of state-linked prestige unmatched in private yachting. Even years after delivery, Azam continues to define the upper limits of what a private yacht can physically do. In 2026, it's still a reference point whenever a new mega yacht is announced. 3. Dilbar, Nummu $600 million with higher valuation estimate. Dilbar is the yacht that quietly rewrote the record books, not by length, but by volume. Often cited as the largest yacht in the world by gross tonnage, Dilbar reportedly cost around $600 million, though many estimates suggest its true value is far higher when refits and complexity are considered. The yacht is widely associated with Russian billionaire Alisher Usmanov, whose ownership turned Dilbar into a floating symbol of industrial-scale wealth and engineering ambition. The scale inside Dilbar is difficult to exaggerate. Massive interior spaces, a huge crew complement, and infrastructure that resembles a luxury complex rather than a vessel make it one of the most resource-intensive yachts ever built. By 2026, Dilbar stands as proof that the most expensive yachts aren't always the longest. They're the ones that try to replicate land-based luxury. 2. Streets of Monaco, $1 billion. Streets of Monaco exists in a strange but important category. With a projected cost often cited around $1 billion, this yacht is best known as a concept. a floating recreation of Monaco itself, complete with landmark-inspired architecture and entertainment spaces. While it has not been confirmed as a completed operational yacht, its significance lies in what it represents. No owner has ever been publicly confirmed, and the project has only been linked to anonymous ultra-high net worth interest rather than a named billionaire. Streets of Monaco shows how far imagination has stretched at the top of the market. It isn't about comfort or performance anymore. It's about replicating entire cities at sea. If funded and built, Streets of Monaco would instantly rank among the most expensive yachts ever created. In 2026, it remains the clearest glimpse of what the next escalation could look like. 1. Eclipse. Up to $1.5 billion. Eclipse is the yacht that turned extreme wealth into modern mythology. Built by Blohm plus Voss and delivered in 2010, Eclipse is often cited with figures ranging from several $100 million to as high as $1.5 billion, depending on whether sources refer to build cost, refits, or long-term valuation. What sets Eclipse apart is not just luxury, but security and redundancy. Multiple helipads, vast accommodation, extensive onboard systems, and features designed to ensure privacy at any cost transformed it into something closer to a mobile fortress than a pleasure vessel. The yacht is owned by Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich, one of the wealthiest and most high-profile oligarchs in the world, whose personal collection of super yachts has become almost as famous as his other assets. Even in 2026, after years of larger and newer yachts, Eclipse remains the name most people associate with the phrase the world's most expensive yacht. It didn't just raise the bar, it changed how the bar was measured. If you enjoyed exploring the extreme end of wealth and design, and you want more deep dives like this, like and subscribe to the channel. It helps more than you think, and keeps these stories coming.